All right, today I'm here with Randy and Zach, who both served. Randy, which branch did you serve in?
I was in the Navy.
Still am in the Air Force.
In the Air Force, Air Force Navy guys. All right, cool. They actually, we can talk about service, but more importantly today, you guys came in because you guys have a program with Burrell Health. Is that correct?
Correct.
So tell me about it.
So back in October, Burrell started a program specifically to help veterans in our community access mental health resources.
That's a really very cool thing. And I think a lot of guys don't really know outside of the VA if there are anything like that. You know what I mean? So what's the program about? Like, how does it work?
So the idea around the program is it's an all-encompassing service, so wraparound care. So case management, therapy, peer support, psychiatry services, medication management, and the location where we're housed, the transition clinic on Grand, has a pharmacy. So a veteran can come in, receive all the different supports in the same location without having to go to 7 other places around town. And we do take a lot of referrals from the VA, so we're kind of covering,
Where they can't
where
go.
they can't.
Yeah, because, I mean, they're good, bad, or indifferent with the VA. They are just as much overwhelmed. And I think, like, a lot of the things that, the issues that veterans do have with the VA is it's not... the VA was handed this... That was dealt this hand, and this is the best they can do with it. So that's great that they reach out to guys like you to do this. And also, I think it's great that this is a veteran kind of run thing, right?
For sure. So the entire program is supported. It's ran by veterans, supported by veterans to support our local community veterans.
And that's it.
Yeah, that's the short and simple of it. We talk about 22 suicides a day. Trying to drive that number down. In the local community, every night there's somewhere between 100 to 120 veterans that sleep unhoused on the streets. So we're trying to
100 too many.
Exactly. So trying to bring them into care, get them, whatever they need, and find stable housing. That's really another focus of what we're trying to focus on.
Empowering these guys in Dallas to kind of figure out, like, hey, you don't have to do this alone, and then go from there.
Yeah, exactly.
That's really awesome. So if a veteran listening right now is like, okay, I'm ready to take the next step, what would they do?
Well, they got a couple different options. If they could go to the Connection Center in South Springfield, the main Burrell campus. They could give us a phone call at 417-761-5800. That's going to ring directly to our client access rep, and she will get you connected to our program. You'll see in various community partners, you might see our flyers around with the QR code. You scan the QR code, fill it out, and it's going to come straight to me, and I'll be able to connect with you and bring you into services.
That's awesome.
So those are probably the easiest ways to get connected.
And a pretty good turnaround on this, like.
So yeah, if you get the referral in wherever, it's going to come to me within a handful of days, and then I'll be reaching out to you. So we're talking a week
At the most. That's great. Because a lot of these things outside you hear is like, yeah, we're trying, but we're at a 2-month, 3-month, 6-month wait. Hell, when I got to make my appointment for the doctor next year.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
And that's my PA, man.
Yeah.
So.
And that's the thing me and Zach were talking about is there's such great resources already around Springfield. The VA has some, the local service organizations have some. It's just we just didn't want veterans to have to do that search on their own. They can come here to us, and we'll connect them to all that at one-stop shop.
That's really, really important, and I think again, your service. Thank you both for your service, and that's important. But I love whenever I'm able to take guys out that continue to do it after the fact, that to see the need for it, and then because it can be difficult for guys that get out that they might not have any kind of mental stuff going on or whatever, but they get out into the real world and they're like, oh my God, this is how the private sector is, and this is working at Walmart with all these 21-year-old kids who don't really give a crap. You know what I mean? It's that in itself can be difficult for some guys. So even if it's something as simple as like I can't figure out how to work with people, that's important, and that should be something that you hopefully would want to solve or fix.
Yeah, and those are exactly the obstacles that our clients face. I'm thinking of some of my clients right now that come in, had a great time while they were in the military, served their service, came back, expected to do certain things, and their life just caved in around them. They weren't prepared to take that next step. And so we're just there to offer, like we said, a one-stop shop for them to get all their things back together and hit the road running. And so hope is a huge word that we use, because without hope, there's really nothing, and that's what we provide for our clients.
That's awesome.
Without hope.
And I think that's valid too, because one of the things that you hear about with kids getting in and they sign up at 18 years old, they get a $20,000 check. And I mean, I didn't have that kind of money when I was 18 years old. And they're with the girl who's not faithful, or they come back and they needed that foundation and schedule, and this is what you do and where you go every 2 years or whatever that is. It is life crushing when that's taken away and you don't have someone saying, you got to be here at 0600. In 2 years, you're going to move to Florida. And do you know what I mean? And all that stuff that we have to figure out, it gets very difficult, because then the only person that you have to answer to is yourself.
Right.
And that's sometimes a very difficult thing to do. Even for the guy like me who plays records on the radio and plays guitar. Like, I don't, that stuff is not easy.
Yeah. And that's what some of our clients, that's what they tackle every single day. So anxiety and depression, they work best when they get you alone and isolate you. And that's what those two things do to our clients, is get them alone, already not feeling comfortable in society. Get that person alone, start putting those negative thoughts in their mind, and next thing you know, that person's disconnected and deep in depression. And so one of the things that we're excited about doing is next week we're starting groups with our clients. When I worked at Burrell before, from 2016 to 2019 with just the general population. And that's something that we weren't allowed to do back then, was to have groups because of confidentiality and hints on that
because
type
of
of stuff.
the medical stuff.
Right.
That's so
And
weird. So weird. I get it, but I would assume that you could just say, "Hey, I'm cool with this in this setting."
Well, the individual could.
Yeah,
they could sign a waiver and say,
yeah.
but then the program that I worked in, we just didn't offer that because it was too broad of a base.
Yeah.
And so one of the things that we can do here with Veteran Services is have groups. And when I first brought that idea to my clients, I was expecting kind of a lukewarm. They're excited.
That's good.
And one of the ways I didn't even have to sell it to them. One of the ways they sold it to me was, as we get older, ways to socialize with individuals are harder and harder and harder. And here you have a bunch of people that have a lot of things alike. They were ex-military, battling anxiety, depression, or other mental health situations. So I'm so excited to get started on those groups next week. And that invitation isn't just to our clients. That's anyone in the community that's a veteran can reach out and join those groups as well.
That's awesome. And again, I think that is a big important thing that you hit on, is the community.
Yeah.
That's why I do a lot of stuff here at the Legion, because they have a really good, strong community. Obviously it's a bar, but it is a place where guys can go that gives them that sense that, hey, I'm sitting next to a dude that served, and that in itself is a connecting point.
Right. And to continue that thought, just for any veteran that's out there right now and is like, well, maybe I need to get a hold of Burrell. If you feel like, well, maybe that's too drastic of a step, just do like what Mike just said. Reach out to your local
Legion,
service organizations.
VFW.
And there's people there that you can hang out with, people there that you can talk, and next thing you know, you'll be doing the same thing that we're doing with our group. Mm-hmm. It's just you're going to be doing it in your local community.
Yeah, and it's one day at a time, as I say.
Yes.
And little victories are huge victories.
That's
so
exactly right.
Just taking that step in the right direction can be life-changing, and you might not even know it until you're 15 steps in that direction, and you go, man, if I had just done this sooner, well, it doesn't matter. You can do it now. So,
exactly.
Zach, give me that number one more time, or the best place people can go.
Contact number 417-761-5800.
Thanks, guys, so much again for your service and continued service after you got out.